Good evening, folks. It's the third month, 24th day, 2025. I'm going to do a quick double check of my sound settings. What you picked this? Yeah, that should be fine. I hear noise in the kitchen, which shouldn't be going in. But oh well, we'll put up with it. Right, still some really heavy totals to come, and I had there was on quite a few days away stuff, but this here is about 24 hours worth of rain here. It's like you say, it's still not ending over and over again, the never-ending story. And they pulled that tendril down through here, through this gap in here. I did some quick check, and I don't know if they're even going to still be on your map. But I picked this up here about let me see. It says 4 hours there, but it will be quite a little longer than that for me. You see this big pulse here from Tarum. You see the circles right there, right in the center, and it sets up an infrasound going in both directions. Well, all the way out, pebble in a pond kind of a thing, and it sets ripples up, ripples like that. I didn't know what color this was going to be. Okay, so this is rippling out like that. So they send a signal, and then a signal, and a signal, and they time it just right. And it can even be in slightly different layers of the atmosphere, it being that one, and that one. And it sets a flow out, which tends to separate tendrils of stuff. And this other one that I seen, it was this one here, was not that one. That's a flow map. Oh yeah. I got a lot of homework down there. Oops, I just cleared that screen. It was this other beam here. It was should be this one. Yep, that's the flow map. That was my personal homework. I don't really think that's a bunch of people's. I ain't gonna make it that easy for Tim. And this one was Maxwellton, or the Hewenden radar, as it's often known, which is located right there across in the field. You can see how choppy this is here on the edge. Let me. Oh, that just pulled that picture up. Yeah, I need to mark this. I didn't think I was going to go live tonight, but I figured I better do this well because internet's been very intermittent in the mornings along this area here. They've been doing some road works. You see how square this is here? As that turns, right, that's going to push that way. That'll push that way because it was rotating like this in that direction. Like that. So it kind of puts a pressure on the bottom of this storm here, which tends to send the chem and the ripples back up through that tendril there, and this will tend to track in that direction and spread out a little bit. Mr. Squiggles is laughing at you. And that's the big boost bastard over there, Maxwelltown. Hi, can I control your weather? And infrasound can do quite a lot, as some of you are beginning to take into account. So let me show you kind of what's going on. I'll show you some of the chem. And I'll let you see the forecastations part, of which I pretty much am in agreement with for the next few days. Will be this here, because it's what my map is showing. So let's show you that now, and it's going to get electric as it's interacting with some of this air that came up from the Great Australian Nam down there. It's way to the south of you. Look at the electrics kicking off. Yeah, tornadic activity is to be expected. And what I mean by that is hail, damaging wind. Uh, Tornadoes themselves is well possible, but way up here, not as much as when we start to head down in this area here, especially right around this corridor here, where this little thing's going to appear on the screen, because that's where the flow that came like from here, like that. I'm trying to get this to sit still. That's weird. Okay, well, bear with it. So I'm going to keep letting that roll along as it spreads across the border, coming there mid-afternoon Wednesday, and this is going to be an event that's going to last all the way through to about, well, into the 30th for sure. It could steam a little bit quicker out to sea, but I doubt it. You see that tendril? And it's going to last a while. Is there was a lot of water coming in off of Carpentaria that's still coming down. And yes, Townsville, they ain't forgot about you. It's like the never-ending bath for these poor people in the funkin' north, FNQ, up there. Charlieville, Charlieville. You must need some smart city up there, huh? Are they going to call you a satellite city? That's different. Well, they call you a satellite city. Yeah, you got to learn the difference. 15-minute city, satellite city. Casino, satellite city. Yep. Hey, Lismore, how are you doing here? This is a concern for me, and this is well underestimated, I think. Okay, some of the totals I see and ain't reflecting what the water and the conditions are telling me. Yeah, they'll be about right. Hey, Ipswich. Hey, how about just another little batch for Clowntown over here? Like they need some more help. That corridor over there where that tendril comes over. And even Ed coming for an hour or so along Gold Coast over here is not going to be a welcome. Because you see, that's 3 hours there is 5 centimeters, and it's every bit of the 3 hours that you're going to catch to 4 hours of that. So that's going to be a belter of an afternoon for you on Saturday. So don't get caught out in that. Yeah, yeah, you got about 4 hours. That's going to be that's you're going to pick 8 centimeters up very quickly that afternoon. Let's see what your totals are. I don't even know if I'm running. You're watching from Redlands. Well, hello to the Redlands. The lands. Redlands. I want to look for your worst case scenario, but the likely scenario was the one I had in. Because I did a map. It's not showing a heavier area through here that I picked up. Because here's what I picked up, and none of the maps are matching me. I always get a little nervous when that happens. It's like, why aren't they matching me? What I did was I pulled up the only image I have. And we ain't going to look at the Mascays people there. Let's try this again. I might have to map it again. Here we go. All right. Why is this playing with me? I'm not happy. All right, let's get this up. Right, I'm going to have to put Mr. Squiggles back in. What I picked up was the flow boundaries on the map because I didn't have a current worldview image. Hey, what color do we want today? Let's go that one. What I did, I picked up that tendril, and really the heavy pockets coming right through here, right through there, and none of them are marking it. And there's still a batch that comes through this area here. It's going to be a little less, but it's still pretty heavy. And there's a boundary lane here. It's going to cop the afternoon, but it ain't nothing like this tendril's got to come out to sea. So either they're going to hit a beam right here, will split that to keep the flow down here, or they're not. Though they're lying to you, and the outskirts of Brisbane here are going to cop it. And it is a concern. That's why I say they get the most. These people get less. But what's less of fuckery when it's still fuckery? Look at all that came through here. This whole field of it. I'm talking. A lot, man. A whole lot. We're talking thousands of square gigameters of spunkatized skies. 1.7 miles is a gigameter. Evidently, there's a new unit of measurement is an average ejaculation. If you place the sperm end to end, it's 1.7 miles, whether you need to know it or not. The Golden Gate Bridge is 1 gigameter long, and you have some gigameters are coming your way. Just in case you want me to work that into a sentence today, I hope I did not disappoint. I was trying not to. Here's some of your radar of what's out there now. As the sun hits the top of them clouds, it's really going to kick off, and yeah, they sell around you guys over here. The never-ending story. There's a lot more water out to sea than is showing here. You should see the crap you guys got. Look at this shit. Like, you got like not a cloud in the sky according to that radar, but I look out at this never-ending suspended line of combination, continuous nucleation of God only knows what's in this crap. Look at this. And I'll try to go frame by frame. I don't think I need to mark that anymore. As you can see, the cam, okay, like this big Fizzmaster here is shooting some something that for many gizzometers it's going. Yep. Boom, boom, boom! Go the plumes and away with the sunny day for something floating on. Might be a sea turtle out there. You never know. I ain't getting a tan today. Not at all, not at all. See, this is impossible conditions along this entire line of the tropics to give this entire simultaneous look like this. Look at the Mr. Squiggles down here. What's this like? What is that? It looked like a little stick man in the sky. Howdy ho, Mr. Hanky has a second life, or is it a Jewish high symbol? I don't know. Is it high in the sky for jizzometers? Who knows? What is this? That's a chem bomb mass. See that? Unphenomenally believable that people don't catch on to this yet. There's a V, and they usually have another one. You'll see the sawteeth. It's a pretty neutral flow when you want to close an area, or if it makes sure you can just bring it in a little at a time. So you guys got the Coppingtons. There's your dividing line right here. Right there. So you guys got some wetness is coming. Just see that just from reading the clouds. You got a line of chem here and a line of chem here. See how square those are? They're flowing a slightly different as well. Down here, if you see this area here, I wish it would sit still. It's really sensitive when my interference. See that there? That's on the low deck. The thing that looks like somebody blowing out a hit down here because they're manipulating aether. Look at that. It's not fake. That's very real, by the way. So you have pulses on the low deck going out to sea while it's forcing this in up high. It's kind of done a block and did an up and around. So it does just one little extra scoop to bring some stuff inland to mix with it. So that's going to add to your totals down there. Big puffer hitting Baldwin. Look at the crap off of the Yapoon. It's like the entire peninsula is just covered in crap. See that big chem bomb mass there? I bet the people on the ground don't see that. No, that's above it. It ain't your real little jet plane doing it, would. That's something very high in the atmosphere to do that. Weather balloon, unmanned drone. Yep. The Bill Gates special, who knows? Look at all that chem in this mess over the top of this other cloud mass here. You know, unless you're really looking, you won't see these chemical catalysts to help continue this storm along deployed in your sky. You see them all through here? Be nice if the sky was... Even that color blue wouldn't be correct for your sky. This would even be too light. You see that color blue there? Your sky should be this color. Right about a little darker than this. Yeah, that'd be about right. That's what the color of the sky should be. We've had it slowly turned into that, and then it's just some glared out mess like because of crap like this. Boom, 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 boom. Those ain't naturally occurring cloud formations, folks. Those ain't your round, fluffy cumulus. Those are over the top of the other clouds. And that makes me sad. Seeing the cam. Yeah. Not good at all. We have to say no to this Paris disagreement because it disagrees with all life on my planet, except for the 1% of the 1% that happen to make money off that investments, while you pay for it. This is the electrical area right here that I'm concerned about the most, right? And it goes up right through here and like a tongue because I looked at some of the conditions. So this is where I'm worried about your tornadic activity the most over the next 24 hours. So let's roll through a little more what's to be expected. Really a bit short-voiced. Very tired. Very, very tired. Tired of weather. Tired of storms. Tired of the stress of what's the weather going to be. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, even as Madeline Kahn sang in his song. I'm tired of the chem bombs and the man-made fires, tired of the beams and people complaining about things that don't inspire. Let's just face it, we're all tired. Tired of the vaccines, mRNA being conspired in Washington, D.C., of all places, the savior of the world. Once again, the clot father shows up and says, hey, I got this. Let the computer make it. Muddaborough, very, very heavy storms over here tomorrow. Time about now over there is a very long time from now. I told you I'm tired. It's about 18 hours from now. So it'll be in the middle of your afternoon. And you'll be just getting absolutely hammer. Now that's just, let me get an exact time. Hang on. I have to think about this. You guys got daylight savings time or whatever there. You got Gregorian calendar or something else. Is your day lasting 38 hours because they want you to work harder, not pay you as much? Like you got like less wind. This is like 1 in the morning. My time would be 11 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday at Charlieville. That's about the time you get it. You'll be up there in the morning on Wednesday. As soon as you get up in the morning, you'll be seeing the thunder and lightning in the distance. Well, you see the light and you hear the thunder. You scratch that, reverse it. See, this is some of them split tendrils I'm worried about. And there was a big one, so they cut it into little pieces. And until we look at the infrared, we won't know where they send it later today or what chem bomb are they going to deploy over here to wick that stuff in the air. And the sickness mix going over Sydney is horrendous. I'll take some of this off. So you can. We don't care about none of that. What we care about is what's going on in our sky. What's with this sickness mix? Yeah, this is a toxic air alert for the metropolitan areas in and around Sydney. Look at these bombs here in this line of dinguses over here. See, it just sits there. It doesn't go along with the wind, does it? That right there. That's pretty indicative of a ship that's just steaming it up in one location. Right there. I might get a little click on it. You get you a shot at that one. That's definitely one of those cloud brightening ships. The low deck is moving towards the west, but that top deck is going towards New Zealand. See, those are chem bombs. That one moved, at least, but that's just something stationary, or maybe they have more than one vessel. Yep, we have a ship. And out here ain't no better. You got a lot of little areas. This doesn't look like too much of a threat. The beams coming off of Exmouth, though, have put a parentheses around it, so for it to hug the coast over the next 3 days is pretty expected by me because of those beams I showed you yesterday. I don't know how much more I can hold this mouse. Yeah, I'm hurting on a lot of levels. And again, that same type move. There's something fizzing along in the top of this cloud moving along. See it right there, the V shape? And the V will be where it just deployed and it spreads out. That's a very obvious deployment. And here. But that's over the top of that. So that's telling me that's up high. And they got things that can steam clouds from up there. Ever hear of a smoke machine? They have the biggest vape pen in the world up there. Somebody just puffing away. Mr. Stay Puff. And this line of bombs over here. Right here. See them? Start to finish. Boom. 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 Boom went the plumes. And I'm sure the whale shark was just not loving life that day. Have some fucking acid rain on you. I'm starting to get upset and I don't want that to continue. Mighty square edge on that there. All that water is going to work its way in and down into this tendril and through this area here. Hey, so I already seen it. That was going to happen. So I'm going to do a zoom back and just let you figure out where in the world are you? Here. Maybe you're in the United States. You want me to cover that weather too. Yeah, I don't see this here going very far. So I'm going to zoom that back, do that down, make sure New Zealand can see themselves, and have a sip of Wawa. Yeah, mighty low out there with a 10:05. Come here, move along. Hey, it helps if you hit the start. Boom, 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 plum, plum, plum. Boom, boom, plum, plum, bzzzt. The fryer's on and boom, boom, boom. Because remember, you got the fryer's on up here, like where the index finger and the pinky is. And so you'll see a flow occur between the two. But like I said, that Hewenden one was doing a bit of a shove towards the coast. So I'm really expecting the spread out of that moisture that's coming in from Carpentaria now that's being blown up by all them chem bombs I showed you. And look at the electricity kicking off on the 27th for your time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be at about 7 o'clock in the morning, Queensland time. So, like I said, as you're heading through 27th and 28th, like I told you the other day, you'll be needing to be in them arcs. Yep. Got your playing cards ready. I don't think you'll run out of toilet paper in 3 days enough to everybody just go have a fucking run on it or anything. That's, pardon the pun, to have a run on your toilet paper is kind of what it's designed for. And it spreads out, almost like the state of New South Wales say, hey, can we have all that water? And they move the camera all the way over across your state line on the 28th and 29th and give you a great righteous bath all the way on out to sea around Sydney. And then goodbye, Irene, goodbye. You're out to sea. Well, it will whip around because remember, this is a lull. And so when it goes out to sea, it has to pull some back in. Right? Naturally, that would have to happen. So that should do a little stall in there up to you guys here. Yep, that's the burp back coming right under Harvey Bay, and a steamer for New Zealand, not a Cleveland steamer, we hope, but it will be shitty weather nonetheless. Yep, as we heading into looks like they're drying you out, but that's as far as I'm gonna go. I'll put it on one more time on this, so that nobody has to ask me, Robert, what's my totals gonna be? Yeah, isn't that nice? I guess if I refresh this, it'll work. I'm exhausted, man. I'm so tired of weather. It's just not good, man. Not good at all. Anywhere along they spread these tendrils out, it could be hitting 400. That must be that sticky up mountain again. Yeah. I don't even like to show you this, so I'm just going to do it very silent and reverently, and that's going to come fair quick when it happens. I'll show you. I think it was the 27th through the 29th. Da-da-da-da-da. A lot of tendrils of crap out here, man. You're going to have to keep an eye on things. You're going to have to keep an eye on it. That's very conservative. I was kind of leaning more towards this. When the second tendril went out to sea, I kind of thought it was going to do this. And I've been doing you an injustice not to show you. There could be a massive swath over here getting close to a quarter of a meter. Yeah. At what point don't they want your entrance? At what point ain't they entering you already? At what point are you going to say no more, my the system's hard? Because, man, all I see is Kambam City. I've been watching this coastline here get absolutely buried in rain for far too many days. I'll just start confusing Higgins. Yeah, that's why I had to start using the jizzometers, because he might not figured it out. Yep, the jizzometer. Just in case you didn't know, I'd be doing you a big injustice if I didn't suddenly flip over here and said hi. One of y'all is saying it's calming in a little bit here. I don't see how. Right? And so I wasn't worried about it. You still got some big rains up here. That's like because it's the monsoon season, and everybody will tell you it does rain up there, and I tend to agree with them when they say that. However, those fans of the natural statistic thinking it applies to man-made weather, that is not a man-made cloud off your coast that are going to lead to these totals. You see that crap there? Yeah, that's man-made. You can't tell me that just because the monsoon rains happen that time of year, that they're not being recreated now by man with this big number 3 in the sky and the third month. Look at this crap after your coast. You can't tell me because somebody did that bullshit with me today. And I have to agree. Yeah, it is that time of year statistically. However, these big sky sharks over here, uh, yin yang, yin yang, yin yang. The wang is in the sky, and the sickness mix just streaming over you. But you need these metals in the sky for this big antenna that I'm pointing at right now to work more efficiently. Barium and strontium, very specifically, is great for propagating waveforms. For stripping ions, you want aluminum. Yeah, we have an I in the name when we say aluminium. Or did I just give you the formula number? Yeah. Not looking good, folks. Not looking good at all. So keep your heads up. And well, we'll look at these cascading chem bombs descending upon New Caledonia, breaking my heart. Heads up. Get them out of the sand. Because if you don't look out for yourself, don't you expect somebody else to do it for you. Very, very heavy rains coming. And I see no end in sight, right, as I'm heading into the next month. Again, no end in sight. The long pressure going across the Pacific is continued, as I'll show you the last days of it. It's continued. The poles are locked. And you've still got this long stretch of stuff still bringing water your way and bringing it your way and bringing it your way. Because the El Oppressor effect is affecting the weather. Your weather is owned, and it's 2025.